Today we're going to be talking about how Google Chrome dealt with the Spectre bug. But first, my name is T. Smith, this is TQA Weekly, and just for some knowledge that has to do with Google Chrome, with over 2 billion installs and 53.9% of the market, yes, that means they have the most internet users online, it is no wonder that Google is on the forefront of risk mitigation when it comes to our daily online lives. It's unsurprising that Google Google Chrome has a whole bunch of features designed specifically to mitigate all of the risks, or most of the risks, when we get onto the internet as much as possible. And of course, users will bypass some of these so-called risk mitigations, but those fall on the user, not on Google Chrome itself. So user at fault. And the latest version of Google Chrome was designed to combat the risks of Spectre and all its variants, with one specific variant being targeted that could be capable of being deployed by JavaScript, but at what cost? Well, folks, the cost is RAM. 10 to 13% more RAM to be more exact and precise, and that means that Google Chrome, which is already heavier on most of our computer systems than every other browser, is going to be a little bit heavier. And the feature responsible for that is called site isolation. But why is site isolation important, you might ask? Well, Google Chrome, as well as many other browsers now, use separate processes for each of the tabs. So each of the tabs themselves could not communicate between each other, which is already a kind of sandboxing. So if any of the tabs froze, you could just cancel the tab and not have to close the entire browser, as opposed to using Control-Delete, using the task manager and killing the entire thing. But site isolation actually goes a step further. Site isolation prevents scripting from one domain to talk or get data from another domain altogether. And that means that any of your usernames and passwords and encryption keys or anything else used on domain A cannot be accessed by JavaScript, especially malicious JavaScript, on domain B. And if you were to switch website, what ends up happening? Well, guess what? Google Chrome kills all of those site processes altogether. So there is no way that malicious code from one site can even cross over to other websites that have nothing to do with it. Google Chrome completely isolates everything so that it's actually safer. So is there anything positive about this being the de facto standard being turned on by default as of the latest update? Well, here are the things. So while site isolation itself being added to Google Chrome will make Google Chrome 10 to 13% heavier on our RAM, all previous mitigation methods for Meltdown and Spectre that were installed in Google Chrome are no longer required. That way, we actually have fewer risk mitigation tools running in the browser itself. So that actually means that with time and with optimization, that 10 to 13% that is making our life that much safer on the internet is actually going to go down with time. So the RAM usage now is more expensive, but it is possible in a few months, maybe 6 months or a year, that all of that processing that is extra might not actually be something that we'll be worrying about anymore. Now, if you want to know anything about the sources and where I got any of the information of this show, all you have to do is go to tqaweekly.com/SE8EP47, where you can read the article from Threadpost and from Bleeping Computer. And as well, if you're interested in any of the statistics that have to do with Google Chrome, there's also a link to that in the show. So like this episode if you like it, dislike it if you didn't, share with those you think can benefit from this, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions for topics, email me at ask@tqaweekly.com or go to my website, tqaweekly.com, for everything else, and it is a brand new website. And if you want to make this show better, go to patreon.com/tqaweekly and become a patron today. Patrons get these episodes 2 days in advance of everyone else. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.